Hi friends! Today I'm here to talk a little bit about cypress and oregano, as these are the specials this month. So first, let's talk a little bit about cypress. Let's start with the emotional benefits of cypress. Cypress is the oil of motion and flow. So this one can really help move stagnant energies. So if you're feeling stuck or feeling having a hard time going with the flow or moving forward, this is a really good oil for that. If you feel like you're over striving or you have perfectionistic tendencies, or you're feeling rigid in your thinking, this really can help you feel unstuck. So this one is just great for people that are controlling, so that would apply to me a little bit for sure. So as I'm reading this, I'm like, this is all for me. I think I totally need this oil right now. And it helps you to feel more trusting, more flexible, more adaptable, and kind of going with the flow of life. So in addition, from a physical standpoint, cypress is excellent for poor circulation. So this is a really good one to use if you have edema or swelling. A lot of people have this at the bottom of their legs. If your feet feel a little puffy or you feel like you have fluid in your ankles, I call them cankles sometimes. I look down at my feet, I'm like, gosh, it looks a little swollen there. That really could be helped with some cypress. So all you would need to do is get a couple drops and just rub it on your legs, put it on the bottom of your feet. Cypress is really good for increasing and improving circulation. The next thing is for bladder or urinary tract infections. So this one, you could just massage a couple of drops directly over your bladder. You could repeat every 2 hours. This one is also good for bone spurs. So you could apply directly to the affected area. Restless leg syndrome. So massage a couple of drops with a carrier oil into your calves, your lower legs. And also it's really good for bedwetting. So this one you can apply 2 drops right over the bladder right before bed. A friend of mine also told me that this one is great for menstrual cramps. So really good for menstrual cramps. So just apply directly to your lower abdomen if you're feeling cramping. Some of the properties of this oil: it's an antibacterial, anti-infectious, lymphatic. So think circulation. I always think of the C, like circulation for cypress, right? It smells really good in the diffuser. So this one I'm actually diffusing right now, and I decided to add grapefruit with it. It smells really nice. I love the clean, fresh aroma of cypress. It's a tree. It's very pretty, very herbaceous kind of tree smell, really nice. Let's see if there's anything else I can tell you about this one. It's good for bunions, also good for hemorrhoids, incontinence, prostate issues, varicose veins, ovary issues. So that, I think that would point back to the PMS or menstrual cramps that my friend had told me. So this one, really great to have in your collection. This one is actually free. Today is the last day of the freebie. So if you already placed your order of 125 PV or more on the Loyalty Rewards program, you would have got this, or you already have this oil for free. Great way to add to your collection by just placing that qualifying order on your LRP. And if you already have this oil maybe and it's sitting on your shelf, you may want to dust it off and start putting it into good use for yourself, because I hate to see oils on the shelf that don't get used. So bring out your cypress. All right, the next one I want to share a little bit about is oregano. So this one, I have to share that we don't really use that as much as my other oils in the house, only because to me oregano is one that you would use a lot if you are feeling very sick, or you have the flu, or you have a cold, or you have a virus, and we just don't get sick that often. Good to note is that it is in the On Guard Plus soft gels. So I guess from that standpoint, we are taking in oregano, but in that form, not necessarily, you know, like taking it this way. If I were to take oregano internally, I definitely want to use a capsule for it. This is super, super strong. I would not put this directly in my mouth. Just be really, really cautious. I know there's some people in the group that do. You hardcore people, but I feel that this is very, very, very strong and can almost feel like it's burning your mouth. So just be really, really careful if you put it in your mouth. It's not the same thing as oil of oregano. A lot of people ask me that, like, oh, I get oil of oregano from the vitamin shop. It's the same as this, right? No. Oil of oregano is maybe 1 drop of oregano oil and all the rest is carrier oil in that bottle. This is pure oregano oil, no carrier. So it's really, really strong and potent. So just be really aware, you know, be careful of that. If you're putting it in your mouth, use a capsule. All right. Next, let me tell you some other things about oregano. So antibacterial, antifungal, antiseptic, antiviral. So this is the big guns, guys. When you're feeling sick, you're feeling under the weather, you want to use oregano. This is one that we use in our Flume blend. So many of you are familiar with that. Flume is the acronym, right? That stands for frankincense, lemon, On Guard, oregano, and melaleuca. I suppose we could call it flute now because melaleuca, we changed the name to tea tree, which is the more commonly known name for melaleuca, but it's the same thing, same oil. So melaleuca, tea tree, same thing. I just like the way flume sounds better than flute. So we're gonna go with flume, okay? So this is a key ingredient in that flume roller, which has helped so many people recover and get better faster from the flu, from the virus, you know, the current pandemic that's going around right now. This is very, very helpful to have on hand to make up those flume rollers. It's also really good for warts. So I have successfully removed a couple of warts from my kids. Sometimes they get a wart like on the bottom of their foot. That is super painful, right? And sometimes, you know, you see it on the hand sometimes. What you need to do for a wart is get a drop directly on the wart and then cover it with duct tape. I know this sounds really weird, but it works, trust me. And just leave it covered, you know, overnight, and just keep, you know, changing that every single day. And what I do is get a nail file and kind of rough it up a little bit, because the skin is going to start to, you know, to dry off and kind of flake. So just rough it up a little bit, and then, you know, the next day, another drop of oregano, duct tape, and just leave it. So you may have to do this for several days before you notice the wart completely falling off, but it takes, you know, consistency and patience, but it definitely helps to get rid of that wart. Let's see, pneumonia, candida, staph infection, rheumatoid arthritis, strep throat, and tonsillitis. So all of the itises, right, that are annoying and really debilitating, oregano can really help knock those out fast. Let's see, what else? Fungal infections, intestinal parasites, ringworm. This is one that you really need to dilute very heavily because it's very strong, like I said. So if you're going to apply it topically, I would be very cautious. It is a skin sensitive oil. I would put this on the bottom of the feet only if you were just gonna, you know, use it straight out of the bottle, or in the Flume recipe, which is diluted with fractionated coconut oil. This is not one that I would be like putting on my skin. It's just, firstly, it doesn't smell, you know, wonderful to me anyway. A lot of people love the smell of oregano. I personally don't love it, but I love what it does. So you don't have to love the smell of it to love the potency and the effectiveness of what it can do for you. From a emotional standpoint, it's the oil of humility and non-attachment. So this one helps to remove blocks, clears negativity, and cuts away negative attachments. It's a powerful oil and can be described as forceful even, or intense, and it addresses the need to be right. Individuals in need of oregano may be attempting to convert other people to their own fixed opinions. Their strong will can make them unteachable or unwilling to budge. They hold rigidly to their opinions and belief systems. But oregano has the power to break through a strong will and teach humility. So this one is really great if you are feeling very opinionated, prideful, stubborn, controlling, because it really helps you to be more flexible, more teachable, more coachable, more humble. So kind of a interesting pairing, right, between these two, cypress and oregano, because once you can let go of the rigidity in your thinking, cypress helps with that flow, right? So cypress also is similar in that it helps you become unstuck and less rigid and helps you flow, go with the flow. So I like the pairing of these two together, and I hope they work for you too. So thanks for listening and have a great day.